Welcome to Stuff That Works and a happy holiday season to everyone. This time I'm talking about our Christmas tree stand. Here it is, pretty typical I guess, a little bigger than most. It's pretty good because it holds about a gallon of water and has that nice wide base. We like to use cedars for Christmas trees. We've always owned somewhere between a couple of hundred and a couple of millions of the things, so it seems silly to buy pines. They're kind of weed trees that come in right away on disturbed ground, first generation succession. We've always called them cedars, and they smell like cedar and have red wood like cedar. It's probably eastern red cedar, I'd guess, but my father-in-law calls it juniper. He's from California and has lots of funny ideas. Anyway, they make great Christmas trees for free. We go out and cut one down and carry it home. It's kind of a holiday tradition, and it's even better if there's some snow on the ground. No luck with that this year. Once I get it back to the house, though, I have some more work to do. First thing is I have to cut it shorter. They always look smaller out in the field than they do in the house. But the real challenge is getting it to stay in the stand. These two are pretty typically sized. This one is actually the stump where we cut last year's tree, and this one's probably even more typical. But this year's was even smaller, so you can see they're pretty slim. The stand was made for something bigger and originally came with these eye bolts, but they were too short. I replaced them with longer carriage bolts of the same diameter and thread, but they needed handles or knobs. The local mower shop throws away the crates the mowers come in, so I had some pretty nice small bits of free hardwood. I sanded part of this one so you can see the grain. I think it's oak. Unfortunately, I didn't take pictures when I did this part, but I sliced off a slab of about a half-inch thick and then drilled out rounds with a hole saw. They were kind of boring, so I used a knife and a coping saw to carve 3 of them into more interesting shapes and then put a polyurethane stain on them. That helped a lot. Now we had bolts that were long enough and nice knobs to get a good grip and really tighten them down. But that still didn't work perfectly. The smaller diameter pieces still tend to twist, both in rotation and at a diagonal to the 90-degree angles of the bolts. It might have been better if there were 3 at 120 degrees. I'm not sure. Also, the nuts only sit in these little slots. They aren't attached to anything, and they wiggle around. I glued them down using 5-minute epoxy. I wanted to use the bolts to hold them in place, but was worried about the threads getting glue on them, so I sprayed them with WD-40 first, and then I put them back in. Either that worked, or I got lucky. None of them stuck. I had some glue left, so I smeared a bit down onto the top of each nut for good measure. And that all helped even more. But I thought it could be better. I cut a length of 2-inch PVC pipe 10 inches long into quarters, lengthwise. I used this jig to help me hold the cut straight. Then I cut short pieces of half-inch PVC and glued them to the faces of the quarter sections. I used some coarse sandpaper wrapped around a piece of the 2-inch pipe to contour the half-inch pieces for a better fit. As you can see, that gives it a much better grip and resists some of the tipping and the rotation. It didn't seem like the top couple of inches were doing anything useful, and they looked ugly, so I cut them shorter and painted them green. And here's the final result. And here it is with the tree in it. The whole thing has me thinking about what the ideal Christmas tree stand would be like. I think it might be fun to start from scratch and make a really good one. But what would it be like? A firm grip on the tree, durable, heavy to avoid tipping over, a high water capacity, and either easy to hide or nice looking. But that's a task for another time. So far, I'm pretty satisfied with these results for now. Here's the tree after it's decorated. Merry Christmas, everyone.